Hello my friends, it is Shayla and welcome back to my channel where we talk all things spirituality, my vlogs, what's going on in my world, and all of that jazz. So as you can see from the title of this video, I just got back from Tulum, Mexico, and it's been about 24 hours since I touched back down in Texas. So just gonna tell you guys how my trip was. This is not in any particular order. It's just me rambling about all of the highlights from my amazing trip to Tulum. And I don't know if I'm gonna post the actual vlog before this video or after. I guess we will see because I'm still editing. So in the meantime, this is just like me talking and sharing while I process everything that I experienced there. So this trip was supposed to actually happen last summer, but you know, with and everything, we did not go. And then it was supposed to be a couples trip, but that didn't work out either. So it ended up being a girls trip. We had a blast. So we were gone for like 6 days. We spent the first 5 days in Tulum, and then we spent the night in Cancun to be closer to the airport. So my most fond memory of the trip was really, gosh, I don't even know, like these are in no certain order, but I would say just like how polite everybody is. In Tulum, everyone is super helpful. They're very generous. They love to share information. Everyone seems to be really proud of the culture there. It just really felt like home for me, and I can't wait to go back. The kids there, they learn how to have a good work ethic and how to hustle at an early age. They know how to use their cuteness to their advantage. So there's several small children that would walk up to us throughout the day, even like late at night, and they have like all these handmade, you know, toys or bracelets, jewelry, purses, and they're just like, one little boy in particular, I think it was like midnight, and so we were leaving this bar place, and he was just like, oh, you know, you look like you got money. I know you want to buy something. He was so stinking adorable. I will always remember him. He looked like he was like 4 years old, but he swore he was 9. What else? Just like the food. Oh my gosh. The food is so good and clean and healthy. For those of you who don't know, I've been vegan for a little over 2 years, and so it was really nice to go into a restaurant and have several options of vegan food. I love that for myself. The food was just, like I said, clean. It wasn't greasy. There's a restaurant that we went to for breakfast brunch every day when we were in Tulum, and it's called Burrito Amor. Their food is so amazing. I tried grilled cactus for the first time, and I am a fan. Oh my goodness. I had chiquiles, which is so good. I guess it's like a soup type thing, but just all the foods mixed together, and I added rice to it, and I was in love. Okay, I'm pretty sure that I also lost some weight. We did do a lot of walking even though we had a rental car, but like I said, just like the food being so clean, I felt very light. I didn't have the itis at all while I was there, which is really important to me as well. So overall, the trip was just like, for me, a very relaxing experience. I wasn't trying to go to Tulum and turn up and, you know, like do like 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. type situation. That's not my vibe anymore. I wanted something very chill and laid back. We did have fun. We did go out and, you know, dance while we were at dinner and all of those things, which is great, but that was not the focus of this trip. The focus, as you know, 2 working moms, was more so just to unwind and rest and just kind of enjoy calm quietness. That's absolutely what happened. I feel like it was a healing trip for me as well. I have had just a lot of changes that I've gone through over the last 2 years, or I guess since the panini started, and more so those changes have been like in my relationships, romantically, with my family, even at my job. So I really needed this time to just like kind of reset and hone in on what boundaries that I need to start setting with people and just how I want to do things moving forward in my life. So it was great for that. I conquered some fears. We did go to the cenotes and did some zip lining. I was terrified when we got to the cenotes. Like, I was excited about it. I was like, oh my gosh, like the water is supposed to be healing. It's a very sacred, you know, body of water. You'll have to look up the cenotes. Some people call them cenotes. cenotes. But it's very sacred. And me being a spiritual person, like, I guess I just kind of like spiritualize everything. But I really, you know, leading up to this vacation, I was already romanticizing Mexico just because I just feel like this calling, just like drawn to it and drawn to the culture. And so when we got there, I saw I saw what we were gonna be swimming or diving into, and I was just like, yep, nope, changed my mind. I eventually did get in the water. It took a lot of coercing and encouragement. Thank God my friend is so patient. We had a tour of 4 different cenotes. So the first one, I just couldn't get myself to get in the water. Like, I literally just climbed down the steps and got in, and I was like, I don't like this, it's too cold. I already had like some preconceived fears, but then I bent down to do something and like my life jacket popped open, and so that added like to the fears I already had. So then I was like focused on that. I was like, nope, I'm not jumping in. I changed my mind. I don't want to do this anymore. I'll just watch everybody else, and I'll just sit back here on the sidelines and root everybody on. But then my friend, I love her. She's known me since I was, I guess, like first grade. She was like, the fact that you're so afraid, that is why you need to do this. And I was like, you know what, girl, you're right. I do. I just don't want to. So eventually I did get in, because the tour guide was like, you guys have 10 minutes in each cenotes, and then we got to get out and go to the next one so that other people can have time to get in. It's like waiting literally to the last minute on that first cenote. And I finally got in the water. I was just like, nope, I don't like this. The rocks are slimy. But the type of person I am, my personality, I don't like feeling defeated. And I guess a little bit of me does like a challenge. And so I was like, I've got 3 more to go through. I'm not gonna let this water like control my day. I'm not gonna walk out of here or get back on this plane and go back to Texas feeling like, man, I should have done it, you know? So we got to the second one, and for that cenote, you were supposed to like go down the stairs and then swim. It's like a half circle. So I was like, okay, I don't know if y'all can hear that noise, but I'm sitting on a bouncy ball. I don't know, it's kind of like, anyway, so I like went down a few steps to get in the water, and I was just like, I literally have to swim, and I'm so used to like getting in like a lazy river. I know, I'm American. I was like, I have to like move my own body to get around here. And I saw how long the distance was, and I was just like, I feel like my arms are going to give out. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this one either. I'm gonna sit this one out. And then I feel like when I was swimming, I was like swimming very slow. I don't know, I just didn't want everybody else that was swimming in the water to like run off and leave me. I was rationalizing way too much, thinking way too much. All of this is gonna make sense in a minute though. So I end up turning around, swimming back to the stairs and getting out, and I was like, it's okay, I'll just walk around, because my homegirl was like, I don't want to get in the water, I'm good. I was like, yeah, I'm supporting you, I'll just walk to the end with you. And so I don't know, just like that 2-minute walk, because it really wasn't a far distance, I was like, you know what, dang it, I don't want to miss my chance. And I really feel like there's something very special for me. Like, I just had made up my mind that I was going to get in this water and I was going to come out like a completely nicer version, a better version of myself. Like, I just felt such a strong knowing that I was just going to come out different, just inside of me, you know, like come out in a more healed version of myself. And I was like, if I don't see this through, what if I miss my chance, and it's going to take me months, you know, to get myself to a place where I'm able to move through this breakup that I went through, to move through this disappointment that I have about XYZ. And so I was just like, okay, girl, the next one we go to, I'm doing this. I'm jumping in the water. I don't know why I feel like I had to like jump and fully immerse myself in order to receive this cleansing that I so desperately went to Mexico to get. So the third one, we had an option to like jump off the cliff. I did not jump off the cliff. I just didn't feel like that was extremely necessary to jump from 20 feet high. But I stood on the steps, so I guess it would be like equivalent to me jumping off of a dining room table. Stood there, I'm not even kidding y'all, it was probably like 15 minutes just like trying to like boost myself, talk myself into it, making jokes because you know I'm a comedian, like just trying to like get myself psyched out and calm enough to get this done. um and then I was just like, you know what, it's not even me, it's not 30 something year old Shayla that's afraid. This is inner child stuff. And I'm so happy I recognize that. And so I just kind of began to just like talk to my inner child and just reassure her, because she be trying to get in the front seat sometimes. And I be trying to tell her she needs to stay in her car seat. She needs to stay back there and trust me because I got this. And, but you know, she starts like throwing tantrums and revving up every now and then. So, you know, just like literally like out loud, like, it's okay, like you're safe, you know that you're, you know, divinely guided and protected, like you're okay, you're okay. You know, and then even my friends, she was like, yeah, I really think this is like inner child stuff, like you just gotta, you know, figure it out. So I had to like really just center myself and figure out like what exactly is it that I'm afraid of. And it was so cool. While walking, we met these three young ladies. Two of them were like certified, you know, swim instructors. So they were like, I'm not gonna, the one girl in the water already waiting for me was like, I'm not gonna let you drown. Like, I got you, you're okay. So eventually I did jump in. It felt amazing. I came out just like feeling so proud of myself. Like, I still kind of get teared up a little bit just thinking about it. Yeah. It was pretty incredible. I just had like this calmness, this zen that is still kind of on me. I suppose you could say it's like just like I just feel anchored now, and I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful that I want to say pushed myself, but it wasn't really a push. I controlled my mind and I didn't let fear keep me from doing something that I know that I needed to do that was going to be good for me for the long haul. I really feel like I like super sped up a healing process that probably would have taken me a lot longer to get to this place, just because, you know, back being home, I'm just immersed with so much chaos and noise and other people's opinions and their drama, and you know, it's just like a lot sometimes. And so I'm just super grateful that I had that experience. There's more, so let me get into that too. All right, so I've got about 5 minutes left on my break. I loved going to the beach. It was very relaxing, even though there's people trying to sell you stuff every 5 minutes. The just like the sound of the water and the waves is just like so soothing to me. I really enjoyed every time that we went to the beach. The sand is so beautiful. I found out, I don't even know if this is true, y'all, but when we went to the Mayan ruins, one of the people who worked there told me that it's illegal to fly with sand, and it has something to do with like the environment and how long it takes for it to break down. But he was like, yeah, when you go through, you know, immigration, basically they're gonna take the sand from you, so it's no point even bringing it. And I don't know, I didn't bring any back, but I was like, man, I hope that's not true. And he was just saying that because he's being a jerk. I did have this drunk man while we were at the beach when we went to the Mayan ruins. Some of the people there were just kind of like, I don't know, lacking patience or whatever. But this guy, I guess he was calling himself being like sweet on me or whatever. He was like, oh, bonita lady. And he like did this and was like, and I was just like, thanks. But he was trying to give me a taco. And, you know, it was a very sweet gesture, but I was just like, you know, no gracias. Trying to explain to him that I don't eat meat. I was just like, no como pollo, no como carne. And he got so mad. Like, all of this happened in like 45 seconds. He got so mad and like threw the taco down on the sand and was like huffing and puffing. I was like, bro, relax. I'm not trying to be rude. Apparently it was like very offensive that I rejected his offer to feed me a taco. But I don't know. And then I like was laughing, and I was like, you know what, let me stop laughing because I don't want to like further offend him. And so then I walked up to him with my little Google translator and, you know, told him like, I don't eat meat, and you know, I'm thank you, but I'm really sorry. I don't eat meat. And he just like did this and put his head down. I was just like, oh my god, dude, I'm so sorry. What else? One of my other favorite memories was actually on my friend Lavetta's birthday. We went to a restaurant called Rosa Negro, and when I tell you guys, it was so lit. The wait staff was super attentive. I want to say that we had like 3 or 4 waiters. They were constantly making sure that we were good, treating us like the black queens that we are, okay? And it wasn't in an annoying kind of way. It was like, you know, put your hands out, let's wash your hands. They laid out the, you know, napkins in our lap. Like, they were attentive in a fun way. Like, the best way to describe it is like they were serving with excitement. They were serving with, you know, joy. They were serving with the most lit attitude, and I was here for it. The drinks were so amazing. They had like this tiger sticker, like an edible sticker on top of my martini. It was so good. That whole thing was so fun. They were like, get on the tables, dancing. Like, we were on the tables dancing. Everyone had little sparklers. It was just like such a cool dining experience. I loved it. What else? The Airbnb was really nice too. The only things that I did not like the entire trip in Tulum, I'm not going to really talk too much about Cancun, just because I was only there for like a few hours. Like, we literally got to Cancun our last day there at like 9 p.m. and then we got up and left at like 9 a.m. So we were literally 12 hours in Cancun, and then I was back on the plane. But in Tulum, if I could say anything I didn't like, the driving is bad. Yeah. If they believe, the only thing I will tell you to believe about Mexico is the driving is bad. I can't speak for all parts of Mexico because I've only been to Playa, I've been to Cancun, and I've been to Tulum now. But yeah, the traffic was pretty terrible. We almost got hit, I don't know how many times, for sure one. And I was like, whoa, it was like really, really close. But that was in Cancun when we almost got hit. Just everybody just drives like super aggressive. The only other thing, oh my gosh, the lizards are so loud. The lizards are loud. Somebody on YouTube mentioned that they make this loud noise, and I was just like, man, I hope I don't hear that. It's inevitable. Them jokers are loud. They sound like it's like a noise that's a cross between a bird chirping and a cricket. It woke me up several times. Like, if there was one outside of my bedroom in the Airbnb, like, it was loud enough to wake me up out of my sleep. So I think by like the 3rd night, I kind of was used to it. I slept better. But the first 2 nights, like, you could hear this just, and it sounded like it was in your face because it's so freaking loud. And I don't like those things. I've had some run-ins with them growing up in the country, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't like it. I think I slept with my light on like the first 2 days. But like I said, I got used to it. So yeah, that I didn't care for. But again, we were in the jungle, so it's to be expected. But we didn't see any other like exotic animals. I saw lots of butterflies in different colors that I don't usually see back home. I saw some beautiful orange birds in the tree, and I did a lot of like just sitting in the window, just like watching the trees sway and watching the butterflies, and I love stuff like that. There's a constant water fountain. We were on the 3rd floor, listening to the water fountain from downstairs. It was just like having a sound machine. So overall, it really was an amazing trip. I can't wait to go back to Tulum and some other, you know, nice places in Mexico that I'm looking forward to going to within the next 12 months. As far as questions that people have asked me about my trip, safety, I felt completely safe in Tulum. Nobody has like any malicious intent. Like everybody's just like extremely polite and, you know, kind. Of course, I had the incident, but you know, I had the incident at the beach, but I didn't really think that guy was drunk. But even with that, when I tried to like re-engage with him, like he like said like closed himself off, put his head down, did not make eye contact. You know, I'm pretty sure this guy was like plastered. But he was trying to be kind. So I never felt, like I said, unsafe. The Airbnb that we stayed in, they had like 24-hour, I don't know if you would consider them security, but basically because it was like a gated condominium, they had someone outside all the time that kind of like watched your cars and just made sure that nobody else came in. I don't think that people are like breaking into people's houses or cars in Tulum. If so, my spidey senses never went off, and I can be pretty paranoid sometimes. So what else? Now in Cancun, that's a different story. The 12 hours that we spent in Cancun, the area of town that we were in probably was a little sketchy. Someone did break into the trunk of the car and took the spare out, but honestly, they were so good at it, we didn't even know that anybody had broken into the trunk. They didn't take our bags. Like, you know, like we had stuff in the back in the car. They didn't take it. They just took the spare tire. So, I don't know. No one's being gunned down by the police. Nobody's being choked out by the police. There's none of that kind of stuff going on in Mexico. So, I can't speak for all of Mexico, but where we were at, we were fine. In Cancun, like I said, we were there from like 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. We walked like a mile and a half to go, you know, grab some dinner. It was around 10 o'clock at night. I was a little nervous just because a couple of the streets that we walked down, there was like really nobody outside, and there was like a lot of graffiti, and I was just like, okay, girl, we got each other's back. I'm a little nervous. So that was like the only time that I was actually uncomfortable. I was walking to the restaurant, but like walking back, I was like, you know what, let's just take the streets that have a lot of people, because I think they party all night. I don't know. But I was like, let's just take the streets. Let's not go down any dark streets again on the way back. And so I really think that a lot of that whole concern that people have is because they listen to mainstream media. And at this point, I just need everybody to understand that they be lying. They be lying. There is an agenda that's being pushed. That's another video for another day. But I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried about being harmed or ending up in the back of somebody's trunk or whatever. Like, I felt safer there than I have felt some places in the United States. I'll say that. So, anyway, we really were treated like goddesses on a pedestal, and I appreciated that. I have really nothing bad to say about the entire 6-day experience. I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to bring my daughters with me just so they can see how other cultures live. Everything is just like slow and chill, and that's what I want for my life now. That's what I want for my future. I don't like the whole rat race and rushing and just always feeling forced to have to be there or be there for somebody, or just like, I'm over it. But until the day comes where I can actually fully submerge myself into that environment, I am very, very grateful that I'm able to bring that grounded feeling, the calmness, that anchor with me. And overall, I feel like I had enough quiet time. Like, I completely disconnected outside of just letting my friends know that I made it there. Letting my mom, I FaceTime my mom and my 3, girls. I did FaceTime them once or twice while I was there. But I let them know, like, this is my time. I don't want to hear about anybody's drama. I don't want to hear about anybody's anything. I still feel that way. I just, I just want to just hold my little anchor in this orb of peace around me for as long as possible. When I start feeling it wear off, I'm booking another flight. just because this is what I want for my future. Like, this is what I want for my life. I don't want to be in the middle again of hustle and bustle and being someone's therapist. I'm just not interested in that anymore. And I got to see for myself that everybody will be okay if I'm not available. So I'm happy. That is all that I pretty much have to share for right now. If you guys have any other questions about Tulum specifically, feel free to comment. Talk to you soon.